We're going to transition now to the update from the American Osteopathic Board of Anesthesiology. We have just a very brief introduction to Mr. Yeldon. He's been here before, but he has some expertise, especially when it comes to the idea of longitudinal assessment, and we're looking forward to hear from you. He's the director, the project manager for the certified product and processes for the certifying board services of the AOA. Spent the past 6 years with the AOA, advancing interest of the osteopathic physician and students in board certification. And most recently, he's facilitating the transition away from recertification as we knew it to the longitudinal assessment. So we're very grateful for him taking some time out and breaking away from their board meeting to come and speak to us. So thank you very much, Mr. Yeldon.
Testing. All right, we're great. Okay, hi everyone. I just want to take a moment again. It was so inspiring to hear from some of the medical students and residents. Could we just give them a round of applause one more time for coming out here and investing in their future? I know that's job security for me, representing the American Osteopathic Association, and it's got to be inspiring to know that you've got people who are just running into anesthesiology in their rotations and falling in love with it. I love seeing that. I also want to thank all of you that are board certified through the American Osteopathic Board Association of Anesthesiology, because you're investing not only in anesthesiology, but in the osteopathic medicine that you were choosing when you chose medical school. So thank you all very much for looking for information about how you can continue upon that certification pathway. I, again, am John Yelton. I am the project manager that's been working hard to transition us from a 10-year exam into an annual assessment that we will be taking, and it's not as scary as it sounds. You may have heard my spiel last year, but we're going to go through some of those details again, and we're going to look towards the end of the upcoming CME and OCC cycle, which will end in 2024, and we'll start a new OCC cycle in 2025. Awesome. So, benefits. When we had the 10-year exam for anesthesiology and all of our boards, what we did was we would have a high-stakes 100 to 400 item exam for you all that you would need to crunch study for and go to a testing center. COVID made us open that up to a remote testing for a little while, but back in 2016 and 17, a lot of the docs in the American Osteopathic Association got together and wanted something that was more convenient, that was more flexible, something that would provide more feedback and more touch points with your knowledge as well as with the American Osteopathic Association, an opportunity for you to continuously learn. And so these were goals that really drove us to where we are now with longitudinal assessment. The AOBA actually came up with a mission statement for the longitudinal assessment, and I'll read this word for word for you. We want to provide high quality, effective evaluation of our diplomates to ensure the safety of our community and the patients we treat, while allowing greater flexibility to meet the OCC Component 3 requirements. They wanted the format to be designed for convenient access of questions, relevant questions, allowing diplomates the freedom to choose questions in a customized process while in keeping with the true spirit of continuous learning. That is what we're working towards. Currently, we have implemented the flexibility, the relevancy, convenient access. We are working in the future in 2025 to provide you the ability to choose the content areas from the table of specifications that the Board of Anesthesiology puts together for the exam. Right now, you'll be presented with 30 questions every year. In the future, you'll be presented with a group of content areas that you will choose with 10 questions in each. You'll choose 3 and they'll add up to 30. Registration. You may be wondering, based on your certification initial date, when do I start? So there's a little bit of information here about where you as an individual stand with longitudinal assessment. If you have previously been participating in longitudinal assessment, you'll continue to do so. If you've participated in the 19 to 2022 cycle, you should be participating now in 2023. The 2023 assessment is live. So if you remember participating in longitudinal assessment in the past few years, you might want to reach out to the board and find out what you need to do to be involved. It is a 9-month segment for you to complete the questions, so you're not behind. We just want to make sure that you don't get behind. Diplomates that are certified before January 1st, 2021, you'll be waiting out your 10-year certificate before you start longitudinal assessment. We're not cutting you short for the work that you've done before. We're going to respect this grandfathered into the process for you. So if you were certified before 2021, then you will go ahead and do your CME every 3 years, your component 4 PPAs, practice performance assessments. But instead of taking that 10-year big exam at the end of that certification, you will fall into the longitudinal assessment process and you'll begin that in your year of expiration. Finally, diplomates issued certificates after January 1st, you'll begin registration and the assessment a year after your certification is awarded. So if you take an exam and are certified by the board in the fall or in the spring of any given year, you basically will not have to register until the fall of the following year. For example, those certified this year in 2023, if you're looking at being certified, you would take the exam, congratulations, become certified, and you will not have to begin longitudinal assessment until 2025. You'll get a year off, so now 2023 into 2024. Then you will register in the fall of 2024 for the 2025 assessment. The 2024 longitudinal assessment registration is coming up June 1st through October 31st. So be on the lookout. Communication will be coming to your emails, but everybody in the world is also emailing you. So maybe take note. We'll try to catch you. But if you wonder when registration is going to open, you can always check the website or contact us directly. And then we have moved into a 3-year OCC cycle, which you're familiar with if you've been doing the CME cycle. We are now just compiling all of your OCC into that time frame. So we've just got out of a CME cycle, and now we're in the 2022 to 2024 CME cycle. So we're almost halfway through that, and your OCC is involved within that cycle now as well. Requirements. So what's in the assessment? What am I going to be doing in the assessment? I know that it's convenient and flexible. I can do it from my phone, tablet, or my laptop at my home office or whatever. But what exactly is it that you need to do? That's a good question. And here's your answer. So diplomates will be answering 30 untimed multiple choice questions. Those will be things that you can take at any point in time. If you have time to do one question now, or if you have time to do 20 questions next weekend, you will have the 9 months to complete that. You can walk away and come back. It'll save your answer. You don't have to complete any specific segment at any point in time. The topics are going to be related to the OCC's table of specification, which is actually on the platform for you to see, but it's also on our website. We've tried to put that out as many places as we can so you know the content areas that will be covered. And again, in the future, you'll actually be able to choose content areas that are most relevant to your practice. Diplomates will have a total of 2 attempts to get the correct answer. Now this is important because the first time through, we want to provide you with immediate feedback. We want you to answer the question to the best of your ability, use the resources that you have available to you. But once you answer that question, there will be a rationale provided to you about why you were correct or why you were incorrect, and then also the reference that the subject matter expert used to write the item. So you can go directly to that reference and find out the answer yourself as a way of continuing your learning and your practice. Diplomates must achieve a 70% to pass. So you will use that second attempt if needed to reach that 70%, but if you reach the 70% through the first attempt, you don't have to go back in and finish the ones that you did unless you want that learning opportunity. Those questions that you missed, even if you have a 70% or above, will be provided to you again so that you have the learning opportunity, but it's not required. At the end of this 3-year cycle, I see in the note at the bottom there, you also need a 70% cumulative grade. So if you happen to score 60% the first year, but you get 100 the next 2 years, it'll all average out. So you can kind of plan if you're going to have a busy year and you don't want to use that second attempt. There's a little bit more flexibility for you there. Although I would encourage you to just go ahead and do the second attempt, get your 100%. The reference is given to you, the rationale is given to you, so you really should be able to complete this with 100% mastery every time. 2023 and beyond. So The assessment now is on NBOME's Catalyst. I'm about to show you a couple of slides that will show you what it looks like on their platform. If you've been involved since 2019, you may remember that we had it on a different platform before, the AOA's internal learning management system, which was the AOA online learning website. We moved to Catalyst roughly 2020, 2021. We partnered with them so that we could publish all of our specialties on there, not just anesthesiology. So currently we have 28 specialties on Catalyst. We're expanding that to 14 subspecialties over the next 3 years. So now if you were taking the longitudinal assessment, you will be on NBOME's Catalyst. That also means if you have technical issues, you have another partner to reach out to be able to help you. We at the AOA certainly welcome your feedback and any questions that you may have. But since we've partnered with another affiliate of the AOA, then people who understand osteopathic medicine and the work that you're doing will be able to assist you as well. It's an annual requirement, as I've said repeatedly. So you'll want to make sure that you are always involved in this. Once you complete the 30 questions, get your 70% for the year, you can hang back and do whatever you like. But you can plan out your year when you want to go in and answer those questions otherwise. The first segment is available from January to September. So that's 9 months that you can go in and answer those 30 questions on your own time, a question now, a question later. And then if you need the second attempt, you're given the fourth quarter of the year to be able to do the second attempt at the questions. The second attempt is only the questions you got wrong. So you're not doing all 30 again. You missed 10 questions, you're getting 10 questions. You missed 5 questions, you're getting 5 questions. So don't be afraid that you have to get 30 questions done in 1 quarter when you had 9 months to do the 30 the first time. It's just the ones that you missed to make sure that you're able to get the grade that you need to keep your certification active. And every year registration is available from June 1st to October 31st. So when you're looking to get registered for 2024, you're going to want to look out for that June 1st date to go ahead and get registered for that. Next year, you'll be registering for 2025, and it'll go so on and so forth. So this is what Catalyst looks like. The words are not important. I know they're super tiny on here, but I just want to point out that this is what an item looks like. You have your stem, the question at the top. There's a table of information, and then there's 4 or 5 options for you to choose from. Now, this image that I'm showing you is actually after the question has been answered. So you're seeing the rationale in blue at the bottom. This is all one image on your screen, but I had to break it up because I could only do a screenshot so big. So the rationale of why the question is right or wrong, and then the reference is just below that. You'll see there's actually a link provided with this one that you can go directly to the article and check it out, immediately getting feedback on that question. And then the orange text at the very bottom is going to be the blueprint area, which is that table of specifications area. Tells you where the question is coming from in reference to the TOS for the board. You're going to be able to take these items again on your computer, tablet, mobile device. All the questions are untimed. This information I've talked about already, but you really have the ability to answer this at your own pace. I want to mark one more thing for you, and that's that green highlighted thing on the first screenshot. That's the correct answer. So if you see the bubble A is actually filled in, this physician chose A as the correct answer and got it wrong. Part of the feedback you get is the correct answer highlighted in green, so that you can learn as you're moving on. So make sure you understand that when you do your second attempt, that information will be available to you. Finally, the dashboard. Once you've signed in for the first time or the 30th time, you'll be able to track your progress. It'll tell you how many questions you have left, how you're performing so far. It is a cumulative grade, so as you go year to year, you'll see that update. If you have the 60% one year, you get 100% the next year. It's not going to be 100% cumulative, but it's going to be better than 60%. So this gives you kind of a snapshot overview of what you've done and what you need to do. Important dates. So these are important dates to everything to do with the American Osteopathic Board of Anesthesiology. We have clinical exams that are listed here. The application, it looks like, closed March 5th, so I hope that everyone was aware of that needed to know that. We have a primary written exam that's happening in August. Looks like the application deadline is June 1st. There's several other things. I'm not going to read them all out to you because, unfortunately, I'm here specifically for longitudinal assessment. But Dr. Deppa, who's the chair of the board, and those that are involved in the board wanted you to be aware of what's going on. And I just wanted to provide this information to you. So take another moment, look at these dates, and we will move on. Awesome. One thing I wanted to ask from all of you. It takes a lot of item writing to get these 30 questions out every year. And I know all of you out there love writing questions. So if you want to be involved in the writing of the assessments, you are granted a waiver from that assessment for that year as part of a thank you because you are involved in writing the questions that we use on the assessment. We need item writers. We love item writers, especially good ones. So if you feel that you can contribute in that way, we welcome it. It's a great way to be involved in the profession on an academic level. And you will also have the ability to be in a virtual meeting with several of the board members to discuss these items after they're written. And we thank you for that. So if you're interested, please email the AOBA at osteopathic.org and let them know you would like to write items, and we will welcome you. You'll communicate with me. I talk with the item writers all the time. So if you like talking to me, please reach out. Also, if you have questions about anesthesiology specifically, your board certifications, I'm going to hang around and you can ask me today. But in the future, you have Katrina Matthews, who's the director of the board. She's on staff at the AOA, as well as Kate Jackson, who works with her. They are in anesthesiology every single day. The requirements are on repeat for them as they're answering phones and emails. So please reach out to them if you have any questions. I'm sure they would be happy to answer them for you. Their email and phone number are provided here. You can just take a snapshot of that or write it down quickly. But I am going to take a moment now because this is the end of my presentation. And does anyone have any questions that I can answer while I'm up here? Please feel free to approach the mic. Otherwise, I'll stand out there by the coffee, probably have a cup myself, and answer any questions one-on-one. I will be available out there. Certainly, if you have personal questions about your requirements, your years, I can answer that. I want to thank you for providing me time to explain this transition that the AOA is going through. And also, I want to thank you all for attending this meeting and showing your passion for continuing your education and continuing the work that you're doing in osteopathic medicine. Thank you.